Hi everyone. So today we have a very interesting topic. So in this topic we are going to discuss on Salesforce cross-org adapter, which basically we use to replicate one Salesforce org data into another Salesforce org without physically copying those data. That means it is quite different from Salesforce to Salesforce integration where we do physical copy of those records from one Salesforce org to another Salesforce org. Here, in cross-org adapter and external object, what we can do is we can replicate the source org Salesforce data into the destination org without physically copying those data. So for that, we have to follow some steps. That means the step number one, we'll create a connected app in source org. The step number two, we'll set up a Auth provider in the destination org. We'll create an external data source in the destination org. Then we'll do a validate and sync, which will create external objects in destination org. Through those external objects, either we can create Salesforce UI or tabs to display those records in Salesforce interface or the destination Salesforce org interface, or we can do programming like Apex coding and all those things and do SOQL queries to get the source org Salesforce record into the destination org and display over there. The last thing we'll try is in the destination org, we'll try to update those source Salesforce records, that means those external records, and we'll come back to the source org and validate those updates are happened or not. So let's start. Okay, so here I already logged in to my source Salesforce org. The step number one, we are going to create a connected app. Type app and go to app manager. As you can see over here, either you can create a lightning app or a connected app. For this purpose, we are going to create a connected app because we are going to set up a authentication and authorization procedure. So click on new connected app. So for this demo, I'm going to provide a test connected app. Okay, nothing else. So in the API section, enable auth setting, check the checkbox. You get some auth related settings over here. For now, just type in the callback URL, just type http colon localhost. Okay, because we are going to change this thing, http colon / localhost, because this URL will get it from the destination org and update it here once we set up the auth provider in the destination org. So for now, just provide http colon localhost, and from the selected auth scope, don't select full and all. Select, for example, access and manage your data, that means API. And one more thing I'm looking for is this refresh token, so that whenever the login or the access token expire, we can get the access token through that refresh flow. As of now, nothing great. There is a spelling mistake over here. Okay, never mind. Click on save. It may take some time. In between, what I'll do is I'll log into my destination org. This is my destination org. Okay, if you are in classic mode, just switch to lightning. Now, as for the steps, what we are going to do is supposed to set up a auth provider. Auth provider means so that auth provider will try to access the source org. Maybe okay. Auth provider over here. I'm in the auth provider setting. Just click on new. I am going to select Salesforce as my auth provider because my source org is Salesforce org. So I'm going to get the data from a Salesforce org. Here I'm just providing a test Auth Provider. Okay. So here this consumer key and consumer secret, you can get these things from the source connected app. Okay. So I'm copying this thing over here. The consumer thing I copied, and the next thing what I'll copy is consumer secret. Okay. Now nothing else. Just save for now. Okay. So once you save, so you'll get a callback URL. From this callback URL, copy this callback URL and go back to your source org, click edit, and update this callback over here where you put localhost before, right? Just save that. Okay, the connected app setup is done. Now what we'll do is we'll create an external data source. Click on external data source, not external object. Click on external data source. Click new external data source. Okay, you say test external data source. Type, you select here Salesforce connect cross org. Okay, because we are going to connect to a Salesforce org. Here my source org where I am going to log in and get the data is a that means it's a developer org. It's not a sandbox. So I am providing login.salesforce.com, but if you are having a sandbox, you can click sandbox. Okay, but for now mine is a free developer org account. And one thing you have to change here is from the per user you change it to named principal and select the Auth provider we created before, and in the scope just remember that we have created the scope over here, two scope, API and refresh token, right? So I'm going to type API space refresh underscore token. Okay, that's all. Now if you click on save, what it will do is it will redirect to the login screen of the source org, and it will ask you to do a authorization. Once it is authorized, we can set up the external object. Just click on save. Okay, as you can see, it redirect to the source org for authentication. For me, the source org is my web box. So I'll click on login. Make sure you provided the secret token and the consumer key correctly. Otherwise, you may get some authentication issue and all those things. As you can see, it's asking for basic information, data access, and a request on behalf of that access token and all those things. Now click on allow. So as you can see, the external data source authentication is successful. Authenticated as is saying that with the user you authenticated to the source org, right? So now everything is done. What we'll do is we'll click on this validate and synchronize button. So if you click on validate and synchronize, it will bring all the list of objects from the source org and display over here. But for this demo, for a simplicity, I am just going to only select the account, but you can select account, contact, opportunity, or any other custom object. So I selected account and click on sync. What it will do is it will create an external object in my system. That means in the destination org. as you can see, it created a external object. Just click on that external object, or you can go through setup and click on external object also. So you can see this external object is added with underscore underscore x, and if you'll see, it would have copied all the list of fields from your source org. The next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a tab for this external object. So I'm clicking on tab, and click on new, and click on count. So you can see over here, it can create a confusion that this tab is also named as account. So ideally speaking, let's go back to the external object again, and rename that external object. Rename that external object in the sense, just say account external, or anything which is convenient for you to understand. For me, I just said account external. Now if I'm going back to the tab, I'm clicking on new, and this time I'm getting account external, right? So it will be easier for me to identify. So any XYZ tab option you select from here, just for demo purpose, nothing to do. Okay, so I'm just leaving all those things default. Just click on next, tab visibility and all those things leaving like that. Click on save. Okay, now you go back to account. So see, the first one we selected is of course not the account, because it's not having that underscore underscore x. So this is what I was trying to say. It may create some confusion. Oh, okay, this one is correct. We can rename this tab. Okay, so ideally speaking, we should rename, and if we wanted to display, let's say we can create a new list view over here, new list view, and we say account external. Okay, now we can do it for all users. So what I did is I basically selected the account name and the account number from the list of displayed column over here. Okay, and remaining field I just left it like that. Okay, so for example, so the the other thing what we are supposed to try is just through a SOQL query, you will see whether it is coming or not. So go to developer console, select name, but this name would have added with some underscore underscores c comma account number underscore underscore c from account underscore underscore x. Okay, you can see all those list of accounts are gone. This underscore underscore c, where it is coming, if you'll go to the external object, you can see that. Let's go back to the setup once again. If you see the external object and its details, you'll see that underscore underscore c, all those things are added. Okay, so you see description, name, field, underscore, because these are not the the source object or the original account. It is coming from an external source, right? It is coming from a another Salesforce org. So that's why this this name and all these things, even though they are standard fields, were still added with underscore underscore c. Okay, so now go back to the external data source again, one more thing I wanted to tell you here. One thing we forgot to mark this writable external object. That means right now we are able to read the data from the source Salesforce org and display it on the UI, but we are not able to change it or we are not able to edit it. Just mark this as writable. Okay, now save this. Okay, it may ask for authorization again. Just provide the authorization. You could have done that writable at one go while creating that external data source, but for this demo purpose I intentionally didn't do that to show you that you can do it again if you want it. So now this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the second one. So how will know that which one is external? From this URL you see account is coming, right? So that means this is the original account of this org, but we are looking for the external account, right? So what you can do is you can select the first one. You see here the URL is changing now, account underscore underscore X, right? Let's say this Amazon I wanted to edit. For example, I wanted to edit the, you can go back to the external data source. Because we changed that writable permission, right? So what we can do is we can synchronize this data source once again. So we are here, just click on that validate and sync one more time. Okay, just click on this account. It's already sync, try to sync it. It was synced before, but as we change that permission, this writable permission, so I just synced it one more time. Now go back to the account. This first one I identify is my external account. Now I'm going to click on this account, click on edit. Oh great, this time it is coming, right? So what I'm going to say this account description to Amazon India. Okay, now it's saved, right? So the target is now go back to the source org and check whether it is updated or not, and click on this engine. We'll go to detail tab. We change that description, right? So let's see whether it has been changed or not. You see this description here has been changed to Amazon India. So right now again I'm changing in the source org and I'll see whether it is reflecting in the destination org or not, right? So what I'll do is I'll again change it to Amazon US. Let's save. Okay, now coming back to my destination org, I know it was showing Amazon India over here. Let's refresh this. You see real time it is getting updated here. Okay, so that's all for today. I just try to show you that how without copying the physical data from one Salesforce org to another Salesforce org, we can leverage the Salesforce cross org adapter and the external object and display the data between two different Salesforce org almost in real time. Thanks for watching.